welcome back to another episode of the SOS Wellness Show, my friends. I am your host, Tess, and I am sending you peace, love, clarity, and understanding in this moment. I don't know what may have been going on before you press play. I don't know what's going to happen when you finish watching this or listening to this. But right now, in this moment, I want you to understand that there is peace surrounding you, there is love surrounding you, and there is clarity surrounding you, okay, my friends? This is the SOS podcast. And listen, I love being on here so we can make sure we can prioritize each other's mental health, each other's wellness. Like I always say, there's not enough space to talk about how we feel, to talk about how we used to feel about certain things that once bothered us, and how those kind of those feelings of anger or even depression or anxiety could potentially manifest to disease within our body. So check this out before we get further into the episode, because y'all got me already coming out the gate. Before we even get further in the episode, go ahead and even comment on this video. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your thoughts are, and be sure to subscribe. The more that you interact with us, it'll literally help us gauge and make sure that we are sending you and giving you exactly what you need when you come to this platform. That's my goal. I don't want to shoot and miss. I want to make sure that every time you get on this, you listen to this podcast, you watch this video, you are getting every bit of wellness tips, every bit of self-love, self-awareness. Any of those topics, drop it in the comments. We want to hear from you, my wellness warriors. And listen, I gotta do better making sure I come out the gate saying hello, my wellness warriors. Hello, because listen, I know it's not a lot of us. We're gonna be taking over the world soon, so calm down. But all a wellness warrior is somebody who prioritizes their mental health, who prioritizes their entire well-being. So often we're so caught up in the roles. We can get caught up in being sister. We can get caught up in being mom or auntie. But listen, none of these roles, we can be caught up in being CEO, all right, director, whatever our roles are in this life, right? But listen, if we don't prioritize our wellness, if we don't become warriors of wellness, my friends, none of those roles will ever really truly be fulfilled by the greatness which is you. So listen, the success that you have is possible. The love, all the dreams, all the goals that you have in your mind, it's possible. But it will only be possible the more that you prioritize your well-being, prioritize your mental health, and listen, prioritize loving yourself. And that brings me to the topic of this episode. So, as you all may know, May represents Mental Health Awareness Month. That's huge for me, my friends. I am a huge mental health advocate, and I'm going to share my story as far as why mental health came into my life. How did mental health come into Tessa's life? Like, why is Tessa always talking about mental wellness and soul care, self-awareness? I'm going to share my story with you on that. But I also want to make sure I tell you this. Mental health is highlighted in May, but mental health is something that we must highlight every single day. And I'll go ahead and say it. Mental health is one of the most positive habits. It's a great way of living. It's a lifestyle. Your mental health is a lifestyle. I'm just going to put it straight like that. Something that you do every single day, no matter what. It's almost like the air that you breathe. Once you start to prioritize your mental health, honestly, it becomes very addicting. Everything you start to figure out, okay, you start to realize, how can you improve your mental health? Because just like with food, right? When you're getting on the healthy train, you are figuring out what foods you should eat to either increase your mood or to benefit your skin, and all these different things. The same thing happens on the mental level. So once you start to actually pay attention to your mind, pay attention to how you feel and your emotions, you'll begin to get a little picky on what you start to consume, who you start to be around, who you allow to be around you, because it's all about optimization. You were created for greatness, my friends. I don't know if that needs to be a news flash, if I need to have a banner right here, but you were created for greatness. And a lot of us don't achieve the greatness in our lifetimes because of one simple reason. And sometimes that can be mental health, just the health, the well-being of who you are. And I also want to highlight the importance of emotional health. I think the importance of emotional health and mental health, that literally helps you understand the connection. Because for me, if I feel some type of way and if there's a lot of emotions going on inside of me, but I'm not connected to my mental status, I don't have a direct connection, a direct phone line, a direct number to my mind to let everything else know around me and how I feel. See, a lot of us don't know how we feel a lot of times. I'll be honest with you. I have been so cluttered before. I have been so frustrated before. I was so removed. I was so disconnected, my friends. That's one thing I really want to highlight as far as this episode of focusing on mental health. The more that you are not prioritizing your mental health, the more you risk being disconnected from yourself, being disconnected to your purpose, and ultimately being disconnected to your destiny. See, it all starts at this foundation of you. And my journey to mental health honestly started a few years ago when I lost my older brother to gun violence, my friends. I didn't even understand what mental health was. I've never even heard of those two words together. So my brother, I had an older brother. I have an older brother, right? My brother, I love my brother so much. Every time I think of him, I just have to smile. And all through growing up, I was a middle child. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. And unfortunately, my older brother spent a long time in prison, more than 10 plus years, to where when he finally got out just a few years ago, it was amazing. I'm telling you, my friends, we were so happy for him to be here. My niece was happy to see him. That's her dad. So it was so good for us to be in a place where it wasn't just a jail around us, guards walking back and forth, vending machines, all the things, right? None of that. But when he got out 10 years, after being in 10 years in prison, we had a party for him. And he wasn't even at the party for about 5 minutes until his friends came and picked him up. That was a red flag for me, but I was like, nah, it's cool, bro. Just happy to be home. It's okay for him to go out and celebrate with his friends. I knew that was a red flag though. I'm like, dang, bro, just got out though. But my brother was one of those, he was a people person. So he was one of those people who could do anything. Anytime something touched his hand, he'll be able to do it. So he played drums at my church. He used to even do my hairline, my hair up, cut my hair. I used to have a fade, y'all. I didn't even have all this hair. I used to just have a nice fade. He used to do my mohawks, everything. And I never forget one day he came over to cut my hair. He had a pamphlet in the back of his pocket. And I was like, bro, how come you was late today? He was like, man, sorry, man. I was just leaving the probation office down there, man. They telling me I gotta do this, something about mental health. And I was like, mental health? But I thought it was just physical health. They making up anything these days. These were the words that came out of my mouth at this time due to my ignorance. So finally he finishes up my cut. It's amazing. And then before he leaves, he like takes a pamphlet out of his pocket, like, I don't want to have this walking around, threw it on the table and left. Boom, door closes. Once the door closed, I looked at the table and I was like, mental health. And I still didn't take it seriously, my friend. I threw the pamphlet away, to be honest with you. Just a few weeks after that, I got a phone call telling me about that my brother was no longer alive. He unfortunately lost his life due to gun violence. And at the time, for a very long time, I just thought my brother was just an angry individual. I thought my brother was just troubled, right? I never even considered his mental status, his mental well being. I never even knew that was a thing that can destroy all of you. See, we could be so great, we could have so many different talents. But if we are not well mentally, we literally risk the dangers of tearing down the empire that we have created. My brother was epic. My brother was so talented. He was so smart. And I'm only sharing this story because, listen, I want you to transcend. I want you to succeed over the suicide of your mental health. I want you to realize that we must take this thing called mental health, mayday, mayday, seriously, my friends. And one of the ways that I've been able to improve my mental health and my mental well being is building a relationship with myself. See, I didn't realize how disconnected I was until I started to build up, until I became more intentional on connecting with myself. For a very long time, even in my personal life, I was so busy connecting with other people that I never even invested. I never even considered consider building a connection with myself, my friends. And when I say building a connection with myself, I mean actually listening to myself, taking the time out to silence myself, silence everything and figure out, how do I feel? You ever have an opinion about something, but you want to get everybody else's opinion first to validate how you feel? That was me. I would never have my own opinion. I would feel something and I would immediately share it with somebody else to see if it was valid. I didn't really ever trust myself. I didn't have this confidence in myself to even understand who I was. And see, that's what mental health is at its core. And of course, there are some medical reasons as far as mental illness and things of that nature. But my friends, what I'm telling you is every single day we must prioritize doing something for our mental health. Literally in 2020, there was a study that shows suicide is the second leading cause in the US for children between the ages of 10 and 14. My friends, it's affecting young kids. It's affecting and it breaks my heart that even young people are checking out early, because if we don't catch the depression, if we don't catch the anxiety, if we don't catch all these different signs that something is not right, if we don't catch that there if we don't catch the early signs, then we risk going down a downward spiral, my friends. There's two different type of spirals we can go down in life. And so I want to give you both of those different scenarios. So therefore we can sort of kind of review right now and see exactly where you are. So therefore, if you're on a downward spiral, we can go ahead and shake it up, because the awareness is the key to everything. That's one thing I love about mental health. You have to have that awareness to figure out where are the gaps in your life. Where are you missing? I was literally talking to somebody the other day and she said humans don't do well with lack. If we feel like we are lacking something, my friends, we have the potential to do something dangerous to us or the people around us. So, therefore, we have to figure out what we are lacking and figure out how we can serve that to ourselves. And if we can't provide it to ourselves, how to put ourselves in safe, loving environments to get that very thing that we feel like we lack. Because as humans, of course, we have basic needs, but there are so many topics, so many emotions, so many. Community is important to us, touch is important to us, my friends. I literally used to teach yoga and we would go around adjusting people, and I'll never forget, one of my teachers told me, do you want to know why we go around helping people in different yoga poses? And we all gave different technical answers. And she's like, those are nice answers, but let me tell you something. The true answer is some people don't even know what the feel of touch feels like. Some people go home to an empty house. Some people are alone. And my friend, I'm here to tell you right now, you are not alone. And if you feel alone, it's important for you to be a part of groups. For important to be not even just any kind of group. Your kind of people are out there. Your version of success is out there. I promise you. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how to get it. You just gotta stay with me, okay? Stay with me, because I'm gonna give you these clues. So if this is how mental, this is how, as far as being aware of who you are and how you are and how you feel, I want you to start having this kind of awareness within yourself. Like, am I on a downward spiral now, or am I on an upward spiral of greatness? Because you can be on a downward spiral to disaster, or you can be on an upward spiral to abundance. It's either or, my friends. So at the top of this downward spiral, it usually begins feeling bored, right? You feel bored, you feel very pessimistic, you're always frustrated, and you even start to become doubtful, and you may even feel overwhelmed. So if you're starting to feel like that, that's the beginning of just life sort of kind of spiraling down and down and down. On the other hand, and you can also, if you're feeling frustrated, that's where you start to feel worry. That's where you start to doubt. That's where you don't feel encouraged as much. You start to feel angry, my friends. And then also you get that malicious emotion of jealousy. And that's how the downward spiral of disaster can begin. But see, I want to start at the worry, okay? That worry. Worry is typically when we are concerned about the future, worried about the past, and not in the present moment. My friends, one of the most helpful things that has literally transcended me to greatness has been focusing on the present moment. I still struggle with this to this day, but you must exist more in the present moment rather than just worrying about what happened 10 minutes ago, thinking about what's going to happen in the future. Now, yes, there's a time if you have to prepare, you're doing a presentation, you're whatever, there's always a time for you to you have to plan, right? You have to have strategy, right? I get it. But there's also always going to be a time for you to be present. And one of the greatest ways to get out of that worry mindset is through the present moment. Because when you're present, you gain this thing called contentment, where you were just okay with everything that's going around. It doesn't mean that you don't wish things would change. It doesn't mean that, oh, everything worked out perfectly. It just means that you have accepted the things that you cannot change and understanding that you now have the courage to change that you can't, to change the things that you can. So check this out. I want to talk about that upward spiral now. So at the base of the upward spiral is contentment. So it starts with you being here right now, no matter what your situation is, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what happened, how many times you've been betrayed, how many times contentment is you being able to actually be here right now, ready for what's next. And once you begin to feel content with where you are, instead of losing hope, instead of becoming overwhelmed, you now set yourself up to become more hopeful. You're like, maybe things can change. Maybe I can create my version of success. And once you have that kind of mindset, my friends, now you optimistic. Now you optimistic because you already accepted where you are. You're not hopeful for where you can go. And now you're excited to be on that journey. So we're on that upward spiral now, my friends. This is why it's important for you to understand, okay, am I actually aware of how I feel? When was the last time that I tap in to my heart, my soul outside of social media, all the phones? Well, am I content in order to give myself space to feel hopeful, to then feel optimistic? And now I'm like enthusiastic about the future, my friends. And that's where you then unlock what we love to call passion. That passion, that fire of being alive. You tap into that joy of life. So if you feel like, oh, people can't be that happy, yes, you can. Not because, oh, it's an esoteric gift or the creator gave them special powers. No, it's a daily decision to be happy. It's a daily decision to love yourself. It's a daily decision to understand the difference between the things you can control and the things that you can't control, my friend. It's a daily decision. And so instead of being on the dangerous downward spiral of doubt, disappointment, and feeling overwhelmed, you have the option every day to tap in with your heart and your mind to find contentment with your situation, which then allows you to be hopeful, which gains momentum to be more optimistic and enthusiastic about the future. So, therefore, you can tap into that passion, tap into that joy, and tap into the abundance of life that belongs to you, my friends. Your mental health is important. I promise you, your mental health is going to save your life. My mental health saves my life every day. One thing I love about mental health is it helped me understand the importance of being aware, being aware of how I feel at all times. Am I on that downward spiral? Am I starting being pessimistic? Am I bored? And does that lead to being doubtful? Do I start comparing myself to others? Am I starting to feel jealousy? You have to have this kind of awareness within yourself, so therefore you can catch that you can catch that before it comes out of your mouth, right? Because it's a lot going on in this mind at all times, but the awareness helps you gain more control of your emotion before your emotion gains control over you. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Having awareness, my friends, allows you to gain control over the emotions before the emotions gain control over you. So I'm going to give you a few tips, right, to help you with your mental health. One thing that I try to do multiple times a week is make sure I get movement in, my friends. It is important to get movement in every single day, even if it's just a walk or you doing some chair exercises, something you got to pull, do something every single day to get that heartbeat up. Because listen, movement helps you boost your mood. It literally helps reduce stress. And I'm telling you, it helps you see from a different perspective. So if you're dealing with a lot going on at work or at home, get some movement in between making a big decision. Get some movement in and see, okay, your blood's flowing now. You got circulation. Things are starting to make more sense. You're able to make more connections, and you can actually have a better foundation to making a decision that you won't regret, my friends. So be sure to get some type of movement in every single day, because you need that release of all that build up stress in your nervous system. And it'll also reduce any psychological stress as well, my friend. I promise you, movement is a game changer, and it also helps you boost self-esteem. Ever since I started to move, I have gained more confidence. I have gained more love and more patience with myself. Movement, honestly, the journey of exercise literally teaches you delayed gratification, because you don't get to see the results right here and now. And that's something that messes us up right here in this environment, the day and age. We are so quick. We're getting everything. Our Ubers are quick. We can do DoorDash. Our groceries are quick. But listen, some things in life are not going to come quick. The joy, you understanding your passion, you even learning yourself is not going to come like that. And I don't want that to make you feel like something is wrong or there's a defect. I need you to have more patience with yourself, a little bit more delayed gratification, meaning that you know your greatness is on the way. You know your success is possible, and you know that you can make your dreams come true only if you apply the importance of awareness, movement, and highlighting your mental health every single day. The more that you can take care of all of the needs that you have in life, meaning your basic needs, safety, shelter, food, you'll then be able to focus on what's next. Do I have the safety that I need to be myself? And then after this, and what I'm explaining is, which I appreciate, is Maslow's self-actualization. You becoming the person who you have always desired to be. You becoming your own superhero. But after you have your basic needs, you find your safety. This is where I feel a lot of people get lost, feeling loved and belong. We have to have that sense of connection, my friends. Having that sense of connection changes everything every single time. And that sense of connection comes from you building a relationship with yourself in order to build more loving, more trusting relationships with other people. So if you feel like you can't trust a lot of people, I want you to review the relationship with you have with yourself. Can you trust yourself? Are you keeping up your own word? Are you respecting your own boundaries? Are you listening to your gut and your intuition? That sense of connection is going to allow you to then build your self-esteem. And once you have that self-esteem, that strength to be who you are, then you'll be able to tap into that self-actualization to become all that you were created to be. Your mental health is important, my friends. I cannot stress that enough. You are important. You are enough. You are lovable. You are not a mistake. And you were sent here for a reason. And I'm so excited to see you understand your purpose every single day. My friends, my name is Tess. Please remember to subscribe and like, share this video with somebody who needs to know that their mental health matters. We want you around. We don't want you to take your own life. We don't want you to lose we don't want you to hurt anybody. I want you here. I want you thriving. I want you loving yourself no matter what. Every time I get on here, I just want to pour my heart out to y'all. Y'all got me every single time, my friends. But one thing I will say is you can succeed over the suicide of your mental health goals in life. The more that you prioritize you, the more that you prioritize your heart, your mind, and your soul. And before we get out of here, I want to do a little breathing exercise to help you gain more connection with yourself, right? I feel like that's the highlight of this episode, because you are not alone, my friends. And even when you may be physically not around anybody else, I want to show you how you can tap in and feel a sense of connection within yourself. So therefore you can feel that esteem, that self-esteem, that self-love, and that self-strength, okay? So let me tell you something right here. Go ahead and relax your palms on your knees. Go ahead and breathe out. Just get settled. And I want you to breathe in through your nose Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. This last one is going to be a little different. Take a deep inhale in through your nose. Hold it at the top. Take a little bit more in. Take a little bit more. And one more. Hold it. And release. And just feeling that right now, right? I feel very light. I feel very here. I feel very present. Connection exists within the present moment. I feel very connected. I feel very healed. I feel very loved. If you feel very empty, my friend, it's because you're not connected to the source. You're not connected to the divine. You're not connected with the abundance that's inside of you. So the more that you can tap into that presence, you'll be able to feel that connection and understand that you are possible. Your version of success is possible, and that you were created for a reason. My friends, my name is Tess, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Until then, take care.